Good morning, everyone. How are you all? Hope you all are good. Today, we are going to start our first chapter of science, that is, nutrition in plants. You have already done this chapter in April month, so let's remind it with doing some revision. Okay, so let's start revision. First, topics to be covered in this lesson is nutrition in plants, modes of nutrition in plants, autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition, about photosynthesis in plant, and some other mode of nutrition, that is parasites, saprophytes, about insectivorous plants, symbiotic plants, cells, and last is replenishment of nutrients into soil. So let's start revision of these topics one by one. First of all, why nutrition is exactly important. Now let's start from the very basic. We talk about, see in this figure, there are living organisms and some non-living organisms. How we can basically differentiate which is living and non-living. You see here lot of animals which is living and chair, table, these are non-living. See one example, elephant. Elephant needs food for survive. If you stop giving them food, then what happens? It can even die. It is because of food. And chair, table, car doesn't need anything, means like food, oxygen, because these basic processes not happening in the body of chair. But in human body, many processes occur inside the body all the time. When we breathing, then process of respiration is happening and blood is circulated to different part of the body. So all these processes which take place inside the body, that is called life processes. These life processes actually distinguish between living and non-living organisms. Sometimes, almost every time, many people or we also, how basically distinguish between living organisms and non-living organisms. We say living organisms move, and you have already learnt in 6th class also about difference between living organisms and non-living organisms. Means basically we say living organisms move, non-living organisms not move, but this is not actually true, because if you look plants, some plants, every plant, these are not moving, but they are still living. Why? Because these life processes are take place inside plants also. Now what is these are life processes, what are these? Now different life processes that happens inside our body is nutrition, respiration, transportation, excretion, control and coordination, reproduction, growth and development. Last one is movement. So let's start from nutrition. What is nutrition? Nutrition is nothing but related to food. Means it is all about intake of food. Means how food is taken by a particular living organism and how food get absorbed by the body. Different living organisms have different food eating habits. And if you talk about human beings eat plants, and vegetables. But some of human beings are vegetarian and some are non-vegetarian, you know, and plants. So plants also need sunlight, water, and various gases. All these things plays very important role in the life of plant. So nutrition is nothing but related to food, and it is all about intake of food, means how food is taken by a particular living organism and how food get absorbed by the body. Okay, so next is respiration. Respiration, what is respiration? Do you know? Everybody you know about respiration. Respiration is nothing but is a process in which exchange of gases take place. Basically, when we are breathing, when we breathe in, we take oxygen, and when we which gas we gives out? Carbon dioxide, that is CO2. And nutrition just take care of the fact that we eat food, and food is get digested, and how do we get energy from food? How do we get energy from food? That all processes done by the respiration. So all this done by the process of respiration, means we get energy from that food. These all process done by respiration. Next is transportation. Now food is absorbed by the body. Now food has been absorbed by the body. Now these food need to be transported to different parts of our body. So because our body is quite large, each part need energy. Hands, legs, everywhere, every part need energy. So circulation of food takes place in this life process. Means in transportation, this process, circulation of food takes place. So this process is also important. Next process is excretion. Excretion means throwing out of waste from this process. What is the function of this process? Means throwing out of waste from this process. Next is control and coordination. In control and in this process, different organs of body, coordination between different organs of body. In this process, control and coordination, proper coordinate between different parts of body is done. When, for example, when you touch hot cup of coffee, what happen? What we do? You immediately take your hand back. Why? Your mind instructed your hand to come back. There was a coordination between mind and hand. All these type of coordinated process fall under this process, control and coordination. Okay, understood? Next is reproduction, means production of new species after one generation to another. So all the species produced by this process. Next one is growth and development. Growth means height, weight, increase in weight and height, and development means inside the body. Development related to inside the body, changes inside the body occur, involves in the term development. And in growth, related to increase in height and weight, means size of organism changes in growth and development. Last one is movement. All able to move from one place to another. But plant can't move, some can move. For example, touch me not plant. You must have heard about it. It is also called chuimui in India. So when we touch, it just shrink. That movement is present in plant. These life processes occur in any every living organisms. So these are all about life processes. Now let's start our topic, why nutrition. Why we need why do we need nutrition? Why we do When we do any kind of work, we need energy. When we do any kind of work, we need energy. Whether we do exercise or cutting trees, studying, anything we do, we need energy. Then what happen? When you do exercise, cutting tree or do any work, then you spending your energy. Now you want to get your energy back. How? Because energy comes from food. So food is required. Food is need to take energy back. Okay? To obtain your energy, food is need. You are just surprising to know when we sleep, spends our energy very low, but we are still breathing, blood circulation is there. Yes? So energy also spent. So to obtain energy, food is needed. Okay, in this lesson, our focus is on nutrition. Nutrition, is all about food, means how we get food, how food digested, why do you think we eat food? Not only all organism, plants also eat food in terms of water, sunlight, and minerals. Now, what is nutrition or what is plant nutrition? Process of obtaining food and utilizing it for growth, repair and metabolism. So plant need nutrition. Process of what is nutrition? The process of taking food by an organism as well as the utilization of this food by the organism is called nutrition. Plants can make their own food, but animals can't make food themselves. They obtain food from plants or other animals that eat plants. Thus, human beings and animals depend on plants for their food, directly or indirectly. Okay, so exactly what is nutrition? The process of taking food by an organism as well as utilization of this food by the organism is called nutrition. Now, next term is, what are nutrients? What are nutrients? Nutrients means substances that provide nourishment needed for growth and development and growth and maintenance of life also. So substances like paneer, fish, and growth is related to what? What kind of food containing nutrients? Means some of food enriched in carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, proteins. These all are necessary for our body. So foods contain carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins. These are all called all these called nutrients. Plants also need nutrients. In plants, you see, they can't live without light, water, soil. And through root, they actually absorb soil, which is essential for growth. Okay, you eat pizza all time. You everybody you like, but no any nutrients present in it. Only fat. So, substances that provide nourishment needed for the growth and maintenance of life are called nutrients. Means carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, proteins. These are all called nutrients. Now, next is modes of nutrition. Means methods of obtaining food are called modes of nutrition. On the basis of their modes of nutrition, all organisms can be divided into two main groups. First is autotrophic nutrition, second is heterotrophic nutrition. In heterotrophic nutrition, there are three subdivisions: holozoic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition, and parasitic nutrition involves in heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, so let's start with autotrophic nutrition. First one is autotrophic nutrition. Those organisms which can make food themselves from simple substances like carbon dioxide and water, and which process by the process of photosynthesis are called autotrophs, and their mode of nutrition is called autotrophic nutrition. In simple language, you say autotrophic nutrition, in which living beings can make their own food to grow. Okay, and all the green plants are autotrophs. This is because green plants can make their own food from simple substances like carbon dioxide and water present in their surrounding by the process of photosynthesis. And green plants have, so you can say green plants have autotrophic mode of nutrition. For example, wheat plant are autotrophs. Okay, autotrophs contain a green pigment called chlorophyll, which helps them to make food by absorbing energy from sunlight. Okay, and our body can't make food from carbon dioxide and water present around us by the process of photosynthesis. Why? This is because our body doesn't have the green pigment called chlorophyll, which the plants have, you know. And this green pigment, chlorophyll, is necessary to absorb energy from sunlight that is required for making food by the process of photosynthesis. This is all about autotrophic nutrition. Next is heterotrophic nutrition. In heterotrophic, organisms which cannot make food themselves by the process of photosynthesis and take food from green plants or animals called heterotrophs, and their mode of nutrition is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. All the non green plants and animals, including us also, including human beings, are heterotrophs. The non green plants do not have chlorophyll and carrying out the process of food making called photosynthesis. So they depend on other organisms. We depend on plants and vegetables, and all the animals are characterized as heterotrophs because they can't make their own food, they depend on plants or other animals for obtaining food. This all the animals like cat, dog, buffalo, cow, deer, lion, tiger, human beings are heterotrophs, and they all are having heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In heterotrophic mode of nutrition, subdivisions first is Holozoic nutrition. In Holozoic, the organisms feed by ingesting solid organic matter, which is then digested and absorbed into their body. Means those organisms which take in solid food, that is for example human body take solid liquid form, and animals and also insectivorous plants. Okay, this is about holozoic nutrition. Next is saprophytism or saprophytes or saprophytic. They eat dead and decaying matter or dead and decaying organisms, means some dead bodies, that is including bacteria, fungi, which digest the food externally before the nutrients are absorbed. Okay, next is parasitums or parasitics or parasites. Obtain nutrients from living organisms. About saprophytes and parasites, we'll discuss in next topic in detail about saprophytes and parasites. In parasites, organisms obtained nutrients from living organisms, means they live inside the body of some other organisms and obtain its food from that organism, means they live inside the body of some other organism and obtain its food from that organism. If you think example like worms, there are several worms which lives inside our small intestine. They derive their food from inside our body. For example, tapeworms, red worms. Okay. Now there is some difference between autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs make their own food. Examples plants, some bacteria. Heterotrophs can't make their own food, must obtain energy from outside source. Example human beings, animals. Okay? Now we discuss about photosynthesis process. Means food making process in plants. We have already learned photosynthesis process in 6th standard. Now let's start. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants turn water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide into oxygen. Means water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide into oxygen and food. A simple sugar called glucose, means the green plants make their food from simple inorganic substances like carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight. You know, means the green plants make their food with carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight. Plants use the energy in sunlight to prepare food in the presence of green coloring matter called chlorophyll that is present in the leaves of green plant. So, how we can define this process? The process by which green plants make their own food like glucose. Here one new word is glucose. Food like glucose from carbon dioxide and water by using sunlight in the presence of chlorophyll, that is called photosynthesis. The process, see, the process by which green plants make their food from carbon dioxide and water by using sunlight energy is called photosynthesis. And this process, how we can be represented by a equation or a word equation. See, carbon dioxide plus water. Carbon dioxide plants take from air and water from soil. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, and arrow mark shows means gives out, means what makes out, glucose means food, and oxygen that goes into the air and we take oxygen, means this oxygen goes into the air and oxygen gas released in photosynthesis process that is utilized by all living organisms for their survival. Okay, understood? This process is known as photosynthesis. This is all about photosynthesis process. Now, the importance of photosynthesis process means photosynthesis process helps to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. During photosynthesis, carbon dioxide leaves the atmosphere and enters the plants and leaves as oxygen, and process which is ecologically and environmentally important in nature, as well as for plants as well as for human beings also. So this is one figure. You see, plant receive water from soil in the presence of sunlight and carbon dioxide from atmosphere, and then prepare their food in form of glucose and release oxygen, which is utilized by all living organism for their survival. So there here some conditions necessary for photosynthesis. Why following are necessary for photosynthesis to be taken place? Means presence of sunlight, presence of chlorophyll is important, presence of water is important for completing this process of photosynthesis, presence of carbon dioxide is also important. So one by one we discuss which conditions are necessary for photosynthesis. Presence of carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll, and sunlight is necessary for the process of photosynthesis to take place. So, first, how the plants obtained carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. How plants obtain carbon dioxide for completing their process of photosynthesis. Plants take carbon dioxide gas needed for photosynthesis from air. Plants take carbon dioxide gas from air through through tiny pores, that is called stomata. Stomata is present on the surface of leaves. The singular of stomata is stoma. Singular of stomata is called stoma. Actually, there are large number of tiny pores called stomata on the surface of leaves of plant. Each pore is surrounded by a pair of guard cell. The opening and closing of stomatal pores in the leaves is controlled by guard cell. You see in figure shows open stomatal. First figure shows open stomatal pores. and second shows closed stomatal pores. In that is in closed position, and carbon dioxide gas present in air enters the leaves of plant through the stomatal pores present on their surface and utilized in photosynthesis. And the oxygen gas produced in the leaves during photosynthesis goes out into the air through the same stomatal pores, and the stomatal pores of leaves open only when carbon dioxide is to be taken in or oxygen is to be released, otherwise they remain closed. Okay, so you know about how the plant obtain carbon dioxide from the process of photosynthesis. Next is about how there is a section of through a leaf. Means leaves have several tiny pores, like a structure. This is a structure of leaf. In the lower surface you see air spaces, stomata, and bundle about vascular veins. These are all. Water is transported to the leaves through hair like pipelines. You see hair like pipelines, and from roots to the branches and leaves. These pipelines are known as xylem. Xylem is a type of tissue. Xylem is a type of tissue, and chlorophyll, a green pigment, is found in green leaves, and chlorophyll absorbs sunlight and gives energy. Chlorophyll absorbs sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water, then convert them into carbohydrate and oxygen. Carbohydrate is used as food, and oxygen that is emitted to the to atmosphere. This whole process of making food by a plant is called photosynthesis. So this is a section through a leaf. Means here lower epidermis, upper epidermis, vascular, stomata, air spaces, guard cells, all these you can see a small part of leaf. We can observe it by with the help of microscope also in our lab. Now, next is how the plants obtain water for photosynthesis process. Means plant take water needed for photosynthesis from the soil. Soil also contain some water in it. Water present in soil that is absorbed by the roots of the plant and then transported to the leaves through the vessels, means through the tiny pipe. And when water is transported by through the pipe, then interconnected pipe throughout the roots, stems, branches, and leaves. Every part of the plant get water, and plants also need minerals to make food other than carbohydrates. Plants need nitrogen mineral to make proteins, and minerals present in the soil. The minerals dissolved in water present in soil and get transported with it. So we can now say that water and minerals present in the soil are absorbed by the roots of plant and transported to its leaves through the interconnected pipe like xylem vessel present throughout the roots, stem, branches, and leaves of the plant. Next is the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis. Means what is the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis process? Chlorophyll is a green substance which is present in the leaves of plant. In fact, chlorophyll absorbs light energy from the sun and supplies this energy to the leaves to enable them to carry out photosynthesis process for making food. Means combination of carbon dioxide and water to make food like glucose occur in the presence of sunlight. The process is called photosynthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means to combine. Okay, so you know what is the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis. Next is role of sunlight. What is the role of sunlight in photosynthesis? Sunlight supplies energy for the food making process called photosynthesis. Means sun energy captured by the plant leaves which help of chlorophyll and converted into the chemical energy of food. So all food on this earth is made by utilizing solar energy. So sun is the ultimate source of energy for all living organism. Okay. Now photosynthesis by algae. Many times we have seen patches of slimy green layer floating on the surface of a pond or lake. You have already noticed on the surface of pond and lake you have seen patches of green layer, and even in the any small part of river it also develops in the swimming pool which have not been cleaned for a long time. Algae are a large group of simple plant like organism. Algae contain chlorophyll and produce food by photosynthesis just like plants. Algae, however, differ from plants because they don't have proper roots, stems, and leaves. Algae don't have proper roots, stems, and leaves. The green color of algae is due to the presence of chlorophyll in them. So photosynthesis by algae done by only presence of chlorophyll. Okay. Now we discuss about next is other mode of nutrition in plant. We have already learned autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition, and depending on the mode of obtaining food, all heterotrophic plants can be divided into another groups, subgroups. You have no, you know, holozoic, parasites, saprophytes. So first is saprophyte. Saprophyte means non-green plants which obtain their food from dead and decaying organism. Dead and decaying organism or dead and decaying organic matter are called saprophytes. Means dead and decaying organic matter means dead and decaying plants and animals. Okay, the non-green plants are called fungi and derive from their food from dead and decaying organic matter. So fungi are saprophytes. Some of common fungi are mushrooms, bread, mold, and yeast. So we can say that the fungi such as mushrooms are saprophytes. Okay, means the non-green saprophyte plants such as fungi obtain how obtain their food. Means the saprophytic plant fungi secrete digestive juice on dead and decaying organic matter and convert it into the solution. Means they absorb the nutrients from the solution, and this mode of nutrition in plants take in nutrients from dead and decaying organic matter, that is called saprophytic nutrition. and the plants which use saprophytic mode of nutrition are called saprotrophs. Mainly, in simple wording, you can explain those non-green plants which obtain their food from dead and decaying organic matter are called saprotrophs. For example, fungi. Okay. Next is parasitic nutrition, means parasites. A plant or animal which lives on or inside other organism means and derives the food from it, means that plant or animal live on or inside another organism as a host and derives the food from it, that is called parasite. Okay. Those non-green plant which obtain their food from living bodies of other plant are called plant parasites, and the living organisms from whose body food is obtained is called host of the parasite. For example, which plant? Guess which plant? Cactus, or you say it is called Amar Bel in Hindi. Cascade plant doesn't have chlorophyll, means in cactus plant doesn't have chlorophyll, and this plant has a yellow tubular structure twining around the stem and branches of the tree. Okay, you can observe here nearby. So parasites mainly which lives on or inside other organisms and derive the food from it, that is called parasites. Next is, these are example. Next is insectivorous plants. Some plants eat insects. Such plants are called insectivorous, means they trap and digest the insects. Pitcher plant is the example of an insectivorous plant, means those green plants which obtain their food partially from insects are called insectivorous plants. And insectivorous plants also known as carnivorous plants. Some examples: pitcher plant, sundew. These are examples of insectivorous plants. Okay. Next is symbiosis or symbiotic plant. Symbiosis is the combination of two Greek words. Sym means with and biosis means living, which means living together. Okay, means the living together of two different species of plant as if they are parts of same plant and help each other in obtaining food is called, that type of such plants are known as symbiotic plants. This type of nutrition involves in the plants called lichens. Lichens, lichens. In lichens, the green colored plant are called alga, means autotroph, and non-green plant are known as saprophyte. They live together, and the fungus hold the alga cell in its mat, means web-like structure. Okay, and absorb mineral and water salt from surroundings and supply them to alga, means fungus plant absorb water and mineral salt from surrounding and supplies them to alga. This is all about symbiotic plant or symbiosis. Okay, now next chapter is next topic, is replenishment of nutrients in soil. Means how nutrients are replenished in soil. Fertilizers and manures means first one is we discuss nutrients are replenished in two ways in soil. Nutrients are replenished in soil in two ways. First one is nutrients are replenished in soil by adding fertilizers and manure. Means fertilizers and manures contain plant nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So when fertilizers and manures are added to the soil in field, then soil get enriched with nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, etc. The crop plant can then grow well in the soil. Thus, plant nutrients are added in the cultivated fields in the form of fertilizers. And out of the all plant nutrients, the crop plants grown in the fields require nitrogen in maximum amount to make the proteins, and the crop plant take this nitrogen from soil in the fields. So after the harvest, the soil in the fields becomes deficient in nitrogen. This nitrogen deficient soil is incapable of growing another good crop. One way to make the soil fertile again is to add nitrogen containing fertilizers. Another way is to grow leguminous crops in this soil. Okay. So next is nitrogen can be replenished. Nitrogen can be replenished in the soil by growing leguminous crops. Lot of nitrogen gas is present in air. You know, percentage of nitrogen is in air is maximum, but the plants can't use nitrogen in gaseous form. Plants need nitrogen in the form of water soluble compounds such as nitrates. You have already learned this word nitrates in your previous class also. And the plants such as gram, peas, pulses, beans are called leguminous plants or legumes. And these leguminous plants have root nodules in them which contain rhizomium bacteria. And this rhizomium bacteria converts nitrogen gas into nitrogen gas of air into nitrogen compounds like nitrates. Okay, so farmers do not need to put nitrogen fertilizers in the field in which leguminous crops have been grown earlier. This saves a lot of money also. So this is all about how nutrients are replenished in the soil. One small topic is there, cell. Cell, what is cell? Cell is the smallest unit of life. Means all living things, plants and animals are made of cell. See, just as a house is made of small units called bricks. In the same way, the bodies of living organisms are made of tiny units called cells. Means cells are the building blocks of plants and animals. Cells are very small in size which cannot be seen with naked eyes. Means with the help of microscope we are able to see cells. And when see the plants and animals around us, because they are made up of millions and millions of tiny cells when joined together, then make of plants and animals. Some organisms are made up of only one cell, but other made up of many cells joined together. One example, the cells are mainly of two types. You see a rose plant, man, human beings made up of millions of cells. Okay, and these cells are of mainly two types: animal cell and plant cell. Many things are common between animal cell and plant cell, but they differ in some ways. Cell means how cell consists of. Cell is consist of jelly-like material enclosed in a tiny membrane. Means jelly-like structure inside present inside the cell. Jelly like material which fills inside the cell, that is called cytoplasm. That is called cytoplasm. You see in the figure of animal cell or plant cell, cytoplasm. Okay, and the thin outer covering of the cell is called cell membrane. If you clearly want to see, this is the diagram of plant cell. Means outer layer is called cell wall, cytoplasm, cell membrane. This outer layer, black layer, is called cell membrane. There is a large spherical structure floating in the center of the cell, that is called nucleus. Spherical structure, nucleus. And the nucleus is surrounding by a jelly like material called cytoplasm. Okay, number of small bodies are called mitochondria. Mitochondria see in animal cell. Cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, lysomes, chloroplast, cell wall, vacuole, mitochondria, everything you are able to see. And there are tiny air spaces in cytoplasm of animal cell which are called vacuoles. You see vacuole. Now, these are all about our first chapter, nutrition in plant. At last, we only discussed the basic of plant cell and animal cell. So, this is all about nutrition in plants. Okay, I hope you will enjoy. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.